Batman and Robin, Year 1, Issue 11, Mark Waid writing with CHRIS SAMNEE on the art. So yeah, I mean, last issue, Bruce got arrested, Dick got taken away to put into child services or whatever, so a little bit of time has passed, it's been a few days, and Bruce has been let out of prison, or jail. We start off with him just quietly, in disguise, walking to a secret bat bunker in the city, Alfred's there, and we kind of like, okay, they had trouble keeping him locked up, because while we have a lot of fake, imposters working for Clayface and Two-Face. Once the feds were called in for due rights, they couldn't really, they don't have all that infiltrated yet. Eventually they might, but right now there's still enough people higher up the food chain that they couldn't just hold Bruce Wayne forever. So he's out. He's dressed as Batman, and we also have Clayface and Two-Face talking about what they're doing. We have one of the Clayface clones starts to break down in front of Batman, and that's actually the two things that stick out to me about this issue is, one, the sadness of all these people who have been turned into Clayface type characters who don't know that they're just on a ticking clock until they die. And this first one that turns round and tries to throw a punch at Batman, but he starts to just deteriorating as he's turning to the point where he's just sort of saying I trust you. It's really sad. It's really somber and kind of sobering. I don't know. It's really well done.
Well, and it's the way that Samnee draws Batman and then the Clayface guy, right? And it's the way that he looks up and there's the eyes full of sadness.
Yeah.
That says I trusted him, and the way the panel above that with Bruce taking a step back and he's even taken by surprise, right? So there's just this whole big emotional wallop here.
I think the other thing for me,
he wasn't even expecting this.
Yeah, the other thing for me is at the end of that scene where once he's finally properly faded away, it's like a cloud of dust or smoke, just around Batman, and it just it just kind of feels really sad that he's evaporated into nothing. Basically, he's just dust at that point. And later on, when Batman's going to actually fight. Well, he still thinks it's Grimraldi. Batman doesn't know about the whole switcheroo yet. That he finds out about that later in the issue. But when he's trying to get to Grimraldi and he's taking on all of the henchmen who have all been turned into Clayface type monsters, is that he effectively punches one and they just disintegrate, and he's like, shit, I can't really fight these guys. They're just going to instantly die. And I really like that. And it's like, because one is technically Batman didn't kill anyone there because he was going to disintegrate anyway. It just happened a bit quicker because he punched him. But two, even if you argued that he did technically kill this guy, I don't think it doesn't change Batman's character, because he didn't intend to. For one, his reaction once it's happened immediately is, "Oh God, I can't fight these people. I can't be responsible for their deaths." His reaction is appropriate. So he's still very much got his morals and his ideals all in the right place. But that's kind of what makes it so sad, is that all these people start just falling apart as he's getting to the bad guy. And it's like, wait, did he not? He even brings up the point: did he not stagger these people getting turned? Did he do it at the same time? Because why are they all falling apart in one big swoop?
At the same time?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be the key, that when Bruce puts it together, that it's not Grimaldi anymore, that he's been swapped out.
Well, he knows by the end.
Because Grimaldi. Yeah. But this was the key part of it, right? Because Grimaldi was everything by the book, right? He was set things by a stopwatch and was very careful with everything. So I feel like this was the first piece of it to go. In that scene where he's fighting them and he goes to stop and he tells them to stop, and he goes, he's just using you. And the one guy turns into a clay monster and is like, well, that's the job, get him. Just the way that Samnee does the art where Batman's trying to be elusive, right? He's no longer, the stance isn't like he's coming towards them. He's ducking and dodging and weaving and trying to preserve these guys. So again, it's just storytelling across the board, and why Waid and Samnee work so well together.
Yeah. Maybe in the small hope, because I think he's even brought something that might be like a reversal for the process, but they're just not taking it. They don't believe him. So he's trying to not obviously speed anything up. It just, the whole thing is just kind of tragic. And then the other main thing of this issue, so you've got the tragedy of all the Clay henchmen kind of like dying effectively, and then the other side of it is that when Batman and Alfred go to check out where Dick is, he's been placed with a foster family. They're, Batman's like, hey, he looks happy. This seems like a healthy place for him. Maybe we should leave him here. He doesn't belong with me. I'm no father. This life that I was putting him into, he should be here. He seems happy. And Alfred's the one that actually argues, no, like, he does belong with us. And Bruce's argument that this seems better for him falls away completely because he doesn't see it. But at the end of the scene, after Batman stopped looking, Dick goes to the other bedroom, and it's like all the happiness when he's with the foster parents. Not so much that he was necessarily faking it, maybe he is, but it's more so much that it's taking so much energy for him to act like a normal child and be happy. As soon as he gets behind the door, he just slumps against it, and he's kind of like, he's clearly like missing the life that he was having before. He's not happy in this situation. So that's a good tease. And I kind of saw where this was going to go, but I didn't think it was going to happen by the end of this issue. I thought it was going to be like the next issue where we're going to get the big moment that kind of happens at the end of this one. But that sets stuff up for later. Batman goes to rescue Gordon and some of the others that have been replaced with the Clay duplicates. And then that's when he gets into all the fights with the various Clay men, if you will. Before he finally gets to what he thinks is Grimaldi. But then he turns it into Clayface. Batman gets tased from behind after Grimaldi always starts turning. And that's Two-Face, and it's like, hey, didn't you know that the attacks could come from two sides, Batman, just to keep the whole theme of two going?
Duality. And Alfred had told him to come back and rest because he was, he's under a lot of psychological, effort going on here because of all these guys turning into clay dust around him, right? He's upset about losing Dick, right? And so he's just not at his 100%. So when Two-Face gets the drop on him, I was like, oh my God, if only Robin was here with him, And I do love that that's kind of the point, is like, do this Batman and Robin year one, is that he went from believing he didn't need a partner to now it's almost like he's not reliant, but it's having a second set of eyes and ears and another person it allows him to be a better Batman. So I like all of that.
Yeah, when he was watching Dick earlier in the house, he said, Batman started solo, I'll return to being solo. That's the way to do this. And, like you say, Two-Face shocks him, Clayface picks him up and throws him out the window, and he's falling. And I actually thought this was going to be the cliffhanger, was just him falling. I wasn't expecting the next 2 pages, because the very next page, you actually see a hand grab his hand, it swoops away, and then the final panel is Robin's here, Robin saved him from falling to his death. Because as Batman's falling, like, he does have narration where he's like, grapple, like he's trying to like force himself to do what he would normally do, but he's too out of it. And he basically, in his narrations, like, mother, father, I'm sorry. He's making peace with the fact that he's dying. And then Robin grabs his hand, saves his ass, and he's like, you did this alone? Are you insane? Cliffhanger, right? So it's like one thing that the relationship kind of like mended halfway through the book. That was kind of like the end of the first half of the story, was them getting to a better place where they were starting to trust each other. And it feels like by the end of the story here is this idea of like, oh no, I need Robin in my life, for if not for literally saving my ass, but it's healthy for me and all these other things. And so it was a good cliffhanger. It's kind of, I hate to say something's reminiscent of Batman Forever and say it in a positive light, but there is kind of a similar visual in Batman Forever where Robin like pulls him out of the dirt or whatever it is, and he's got his hand. I couldn't help but think of that a little bit. There's been no boiling acid yet, but
no. But we do have Two-Face. We do have them learning to be a team. You introduced Chase Meridian here, and I would say it's definitely influenced. No Chase, so
it's not influenced. And this is much better than Batman Forever, to be clear. This is like head and shoulders above that movie.
I will talk about how much I enjoy Batman Forever. I would not say it's good. And how Batman and Robin year one, though, very good. great even. So yeah, just when Two-Face showed up, and I was just like, oh man, if only Robin, and because I was expecting it to come in the next issue, that'd be the big, huge, part.
I mean, I was saying, I thought literally as he was falling to his death, that was the last page, and I was surprised that there was another page where you actually saw the save. But it still kind of works though, because it's like setting up, what they're going to do next. I just thought it was going to be next issue starts with the hand grabbing him kind of thing. Yeah. But no complaints. Like, I think the sadness of all these like Claymen dying does actually have some weight to it. Bizarrely, there's some impact here of just how disposable Clayface and Two-Face are treating all these men. And then the story with Robin and like, should Dick even be with us anymore? And like, ultimately, no, he ended up saving your ass. Maybe there is a place for him here. So yeah, very good.
And I like one of the things that Alfred tells Bruce as they're talking about that, and he goes, well, no, Master Bruce, is like, you need him as much as he needs you. Like, you're trying to convince yourself that he doesn't need you, but that's not true. So I do like that even Alfred realizes at this point that, Bruce needs that camaraderie, even if it's from this kid, right? Thoroughly enjoyed this issue.
Yep. All right, what are you rating Batman and Robin year 1?
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yep, I agree. 9 out of 10. Fantastic issue, fantastic book. We just have one issue left, finale next month, so we'll see how that goes.